Coming up, Pierre here is going to explain what Softron is. And I tell you, the first time I ever heard of a growing QuickTime file, I did not comprehend how that would work. Loud people in the back of the room. Sorry about that. Loud people in the back of the room. Anyway, growing QuickTime files and the ability to record 8 streams simultaneously. I'm going to let you explain all of it. Pierre from Softron.
Thank you. Hello, so I'm Pierre from Softron. I'm a CTO at Softron. Softron is a company that is doing, just to present a little bit, I'll do really quick slideshows and then I'll jump to the demo so you'll really see. So we do broadcast software. We do record, stream, play. We really have a wide range of software going from the ingest, play out, with really some simple play out solution with playlist up to a really scheduled play out with a calendar type of user interface where you can really schedule your broadcasting. We try to address really a wide range of solutions. Well, for a TV station, for example, a production facility, we do really almost everything except the editing part. For the editing part, you go with Final Cut Pro. So that's what we do. And how we do it, we try to do software that are simple. We really try to stick also with the Apple world. We do only software on Apple, and we really try to stick to this way of doing things simple, so people shouldn't have a long learning curve. The user interface should explain by itself. That's when we talk about building a new feature and adding a new checkbox or whatever, we really talk a lot in order to make sure that it makes sense and it's understandable. It's also open. We use open protocols. We have all our applications are remotely controllable with REST API and all that things. And it's, of course, reliable. We know how important those software are for our customers. The recordings, the playout, all that needs to run 24/7 in the most reliable way. And it's affordable. I think we are one of the most affordable solution in the market that allows you really to start recording and playing out with something that is really affordable. So first, this is, I'll cover here the solutions that really make sense for the people using Final Cut Pro 10. I will not explain you and do a demo of Onion Manager, our scheduling application, because it doesn't make sense here. So Movie Recorder, just to jump to that, it's our ingest solution. That's the demo I will do today. It allows you to record. You can see here we have 8 HD inputs, so we have a solution to do that, and it's really easy to use. We also are showing on our booth, we have a booth here, and we have it on the show in here at the back of this room. We have an M80. The M80 is a box, is an all-in-one box, Thunderbolt that you connect to your Mac, and it has 8 HD inputs, 0 outputs. We have other boxes, for example, the M62, which is 6 inputs, 2 outputs, M44, 4 input, 4 outputs. And it's really easy to use. You just get the box. You'll see how small it is. It's really portable. You put it on your desktop and connect the 8 connectors, and you can really, in a matter of minutes, have 8 HD inputs getting in your Mac. It's SDI, so it uses these mini SDI DIN connectors, but we also provide the adapter, so you don't need to have the cables for that. And it's in HD, so it's really easy to use. Then Multicam Logger, I'll do a quick demo about that also. This allows you to make really post-production of Multicam easy. It allows you to connect Multicam Logger to your production switcher. It can be an Atom from Blackmagic or any other production switcher. And what it will do is that it will log at what time code the producer has taken which camera. So you can see there that camera 4, camera 2, and you see the time code at which it was taken, and then the markers. And out of that, so what you do is when you start your live show, you start logging, and we'll record every time there is change in the camera. And afterwards, we will create a multicam clip that you can edit in Final Cut Pro 10 in order to correct. So for example, if you have the camera that was taken and it was going wow up, wrong camera, you want to correct that before putting that on your website, and you can do that really quick with Multicam Logger. these are some examples of the customers that we have. We have many customers around the world. Just those few examples here, which explains a little bit what we can do. We had Foxes Live. These are, they filmed 24/7 during days and days, foxes, and to try, it was really nature thing. They wanted to record 24/7, and also already use, while it was recording, they have multiple cameras on set, and they wanted to be able to edit that and show it on their website live. Lakewood Church, it's a church here in Houston that has, I think, they have 40 movie recorders in order to record their multiple cameras and do, again, edit while ingest. TF1, it's a national TV station in France. They use that mainly on small laptops. It's a portable thing. They want to go on the field. The journalists go there. They have it's just one feed, ingesting, and on the field, they are able to immediately start editing. So that's a nice example. Category 5 Studios, they did recently the Oscars live. They did a nice story about that, where they recorded all the cameras, and they, again, edit while ingest. 24-hour Le Mans, same thing, edit while ingest, and the Tour de France, you probably heard about that. So that's few customers, and now let's try to jump to the demo. I think it's the number 2. Let's see if it's going there. Okay. So this is the user interface of Movie Recorder. As you can see, it's quite straightforward. We have on the left-hand side here the list of sources that are available. The source is what is an input. Here I've got one input, and if you are going to see on that computer over there, you will see the different 8 inputs. And destinations. So sources, what you're getting in. Destinations are really what where you want to record. So just to show quickly here, at first, destinations, what you can do, you can create as many destinations as you want. And a destination is an association of a folder, somewhere where you want to record. Okay, so you select where you want to record your files. And also, I won't go into too much details right now about that, but I can explain it a bit later. And also a codec. Okay, once you have selected that, created the different destinations, so how would you use different destinations? For example, it can be you want to have, you know that storage can fail, so you want to have a backup solution. And here you can select the same codec, writing to 2 different hard drives. In that case, you have a backup solution in case a hard drive fails. So that's pretty, use that is pretty nice. Or you want to record a proxy. And you can then record on the same hard drive, but 2 types of codecs. And it's really very flexible. You see I can create new QuickTime. We support MXF as well. New QuickTime destination. I can call it the way I want. And I can just name it FCPWORKS. Select the mode, the codec. There are presets that are really easy to use. We can customize those presets a little bit later. And then once you have created your destination, you can see here that I can select my sources. I'll talk about those remote sources a little bit later. But here, let's go with local. So local is what's on the computer itself. And for that source, you can enable 1 or more destination. I'll enable, for example, these 2. So I've got ProRes encoded to the movies folder. You can see it there. And the other one recording to the Pegasus storage. Okay, I've enabled 2 destinations. I'll give it a name, FCPWORKS, and hit record. So you see, pretty straightforward, nothing more to know about that if you want to record. And we have some advanced features. So for example, you know that you have something to record, you have started recording, you know it's going to last an hour, but you don't, sometimes you forget about that. So if you want to make sure that you don't forget to stop and fill up your hard drive, just click there, and you say, okay, I want to stop recording automatically. You can zoom in a little bit, yes, you see. Recording, stop, I know it's going to last an hour or an end time, and apply it. And once it's applied, you see that Now it's a countdown, and it shows you that it will stop recording in 59 minutes. So that's pretty straightforward, but you can also do scheduled recording. This is something that you have planned in advance. You have something that you know you want to record every day, every time, but you can easily, Control key, give it a name, say you want to record every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and not Wednesday, for example, that specific date, from that time to that time. You select a source here on the video, and where you want to record to. And then it will automatically create the scheduled recordings. Now, you've seen here that I've worked with only a local source. I told you I would explain what the remote sources are. Here, in the list of sources, maybe I'll stop that recording. In the list of sources, you see what's local and the remote source. A remote source, so with Move Recorder, you can control remotely. This was very, very useful at the time. We have started developing the software in 2007, so it's and at that time, we were happy to do just one signal per computer. And of course, if you had multiple cameras, you needed to be able to have one point of control. You didn't want to go on all computers to control it. So we did at the time a remote control that allowed you to, from one computer, control everything. Now that we have 8 different inputs on one single Mac, it's less used, but still we have the ability to control remotely, which can be pretty useful. For example, if you have your computer as a machine room, you can control it remotely, or if you have still multiple computers. So we have here the list of remote sources. That's the computer that sits at the back of the room here. And I can see it's 8 sources. That's with the M80 box that I talked about. And I will just change the view here to show, for example, multiple views. And that will allow me to simply, for example, drag and drop, or I can, as I did with the other one, select it. And this allows me to control the recordings over there. Hit record, and the recording, if you want to have a look over there, but the recording started for the input one of the computer over there.
And it's all over Wi-Fi, so we're not
yeah.
using special internet connection. It's really simple Wi-Fi.
So, and you can see that the quality, we try also not to clutter too much the network with something, so it's really something that allows you to see what is going on, but we try to make it as light as possible. And you can also do, because this is a lot used for multicam production, and you want to be able to control it all at once, so you see that I can select multiple, like that, it gets blue, hit record there, and it records on all the inputs simultaneously. So, as well the local one, the one that is recording here, and the ones over there. So it started recording on the storage over there. And so this is all done from the same user interface. If you have multiple computers, you just add them. You see there's the computer over there. If I had more computers, I could add them all there and control them from this user interface. But we've also, because we try, as I said, we try to do something open. So from any browser, can be any computer, you can control, you don't need to have Move Recorder installed, you can control your recordings. So I can select, again, a source here, select the 3, change the recording name if I want, hit record, and it starts recording over there. You see how easy it is, and we have a whole protocol. It's based, I'll go a bit more technical here, REST API, but just to say quickly, if you have a web developer that want to integrate with Twitter, with the Google, Gmail, they will have to work with a REST API. So it's a really well-known protocol that any decent web developer knows. So you could build your own web page in order to control recording. So it's pretty flexible and great to have. So that's for Move Recorder. We have in the destinations, I'll go now a little bit more into details into what we do there. We have a custom naming, that's new also that we have at NAB. It allows you to give automatically names to your recordings. And for example, you can say that you want to have year, maybe I'll zoom a little bit so you can see that better. I want that all the files that I record to start with the year, month, day, and underscore, and for example, hour, minute, seconds. I can use any character and it will just work. And then destination name and recording name. Oh, put it there. Okay. So now for that destination, the ProRes 2 movies, if I can disable that, start the recording, and I have a look now at my file, you see that the file is not named, is now named with the time, the date and time, than the name of the file. And even better, you can automatically create subfolders. So if I go back here, and instead of using those underscores, I could use a slash, and it's explained here, use slash to automatically create subfolders. Okay? If I exit now, and record, reveal the file, and you see that now we have created a subfolder. So that can be very useful if you want to really keep organized. You don't have to create every day all the folders, because you can create folders by the destination name, by the name of the source, so you can really keep things organized very, very easily. So that's, I think, a pretty nice addition that we have made. And also I'll show new addition at NAB is our activity log window. This is, again, something that you want to have if you want to make sure that everything will go fine with your recording, because we show the CPU usage. So if you have that open and you want to make sure that everything goes well, that because you know that if you use too many codecs and something that the computer doesn't handle, you'll see it, that the CPU is too used, or memory usage, and also all the encoding buffers and everything. I will not get into too much detail, but just to tell that it helps you really making sure everything goes right. Okay? Now, we were talking a bit earlier about edit while ingest and growing files. So growing files are what allows you to, as I explained a bit earlier, start recording, import the file in Final Cut Pro 10, and start editing right away. I'll show just that right now. And this is one of the sections that I didn't explain earlier, because I wanted to explain it now, is the edit while ingest. So these are for the growing files. You see there are three kinds of files that we can create. Known, it's not edit while ingest. It's a good old QuickTime file. You start recording. You cannot open the file until you stop recording. Segmented is, well, I'll start with the classic. The classic is the type of file that we used to create with Move Recorder 2, our previous version of Move Recorder. These are files that you create, and as soon as we create them, we give them a duration. So you set a duration here. So the file has a 1 hour duration, and simply the frames will fill up. So when you import that in Final Cut Pro 10, you have a 1 hour file that is, well, blank for the portions that are not there, and it will fill up bit by bit. And this has worked well, but now we have the segmented mode. The segmented mode, you don't need to set a duration for the file. It starts recording, and immediately the file can be readable, and you can import that in Final Cut Pro 10, and it will just grow in Final Cut Pro 10. And let me show you that. So I've changed ProRes 2 movies. I will probably use this other one, the to promise. So change it to segmented mode, up, to promise, start recording. I can reveal the file in the Finder. That's my file ingesting, and just jump to Final Cut Pro, which is there. And I will just create a new project. So we have something empty, and import the file that we are currently recording. Okay, you can see that it's growing. Import it there, and here you go. You have the file, and you'll see that. So we create roughly every 10 seconds. You'll see that the file will grow and will add new media to it. So that's really useful for live shows, like you have a sports going on and you want to have the summary of the sports show immediately available at the end of the football match, for example. And you can immediately start editing, put in out points, and put that in your timeline. And the good thing that has been done in version 10.2 of Final Cut Pro 10 is that there was an issue, and this has been reported by, there was a nice article done by Peter Wiggins of FCPWORKS, and he said that the segmented mode it used to work, so growing files would grow, but after a period of time, once the file was a bit long, then it would start to slow down the computer, because what happened is that all had to be reloaded in the application. So now Apple has done a great work in solving that issue, and in 10.2, segmented mode works perfectly also when the file gets long, so the computer does not slow down. So that's really good news. You can use, with Move Recorder, you can use both modes, so either segmented or classic modes. And so that's for editorial ingest, Move Recorder. Before finishing that presentation, I just wanted to show also Multicam Logger quickly, explain how it works. So that's Multicam Logger. I'll create just quickly a new document. And you can see here that you have your different cameras. This is set in the preferences. I can have more cameras. And either it's connected directly by IP to an ATEM production switcher, for example, or we are doing it with GPI, and then we use the tally of the production switcher in order to know what camera is selected. And when you start your show, just do start logging, and you see camera 2 is selected at that time code. And every time the director will choose the different camera, you'll see that we'll log at which time it happens. And we also can add markers. Okay, so you can say, okay, there was a wrong camera taken, and you can add different time of markers. You can name them, okay? And then you simply, oh, just one thing. And then you stop the logging, and Multicam Logger does not record the video, okay? So you need to record with Move Recorder, or we like to say any type of recording solution. You could record also on the camera itself, because what you need to do is afterwards just simply access the media. I can go and get some media from here, and simply do a drag and drop. So you see that this can be recorded with Move Recorder or any type of recording solution, because you just take the file and say, that's my recording number 1 for camera number 1, number 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. You just then export to Final Cut Pro 10. Yeah, so we use the multiple segments because we knew, as I said, you can record on the camera, and we know that cameraman could start and stop the recording maybe, and so we support to have the multiple segments, multiple files in the application. And then you select the format when you export, the render, if it's drop frame, and how you want to synchronize the multiple angle. The known is really done if you didn't have any, because you, of course, need to have timecode. That's the best way to do. Timecode in Multicam Logger and your recording solution in order to be able to sync everything. You can, so known, it will be just imported like that, and you know that in Final Cut Pro 10, you can select them all and ask Final Cut Pro 10 to use the audio to sync them up. So even if you don't have timecode, you can rely on Final Cut Pro 10 to do that later on. Or on the content created, again, we know that people use DSLRs. Some DSLRs now have timecode in, but not always. Or start timecode. That's the best, of course, to have start timecode. And if you want to switch the audio with video or not. And that will create a multicam, an XML, import that in Final Cut Pro 10, create a multicam clip which you can then easily edit out like that, okay? And fix if you had a wrong change of angle and fix that up. So these are the type of solution that we provide. As you can see, it's quite simple to use and can help you making ready as soon as possible.
You gave
Always
the
clear.
perfect
Yeah,
presentation.
apparently.
Plus, you didn't have any koala bears to give
Yeah.
out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.